So excited, Arnes. We are past the halfway point on Gammera films.
No. We're done.
Or at least the Showa ones. What do you mean done?
We're done as of today.
But
no more
we
Gammera.
still got Jiger, Gamera the Super Monster.
No, I should have listened to the Black Knight. Thank you, buddy. We're done.
But
we're going back to Godzilla.
with Jiger,
at least Godzilla was interesting.
We had to get past this one film. I'm sorry. Because listen up, Rangers, welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today we're going over the film Gamera vs. Jiger. You may also know this film as Gamera vs. Monster X if you've seen the stateside dubbing version.
The dumb version? I've seen the dumb version.
But if you guys haven't seen the plot, there's a few scientists want to take a totem off an island, don't realize that it's a bad thing. Gamera shows up, tries to stop them from doing it. They do it anyways. So when they take it from the island, it unleashes the monster Jiger. And then Jiger wants to go and find the totem that kept him in prison and throw it in the water. And then fights Gammera. And then kids have to go inside Gammera. Giggity.
No. There's nothing, absolutely nothing redeeming about this movie.
I already talked about this movie, for the plot, has a lot of very unique ideas. I will give this movie that. The movie's story is actually pretty interesting, and how they do it is cool. Don't look at me like that. I actually personally like the idea of them actually disturbing the monster rises, and they have to find a unique way of trying to take it out. Plus, I love that the kids have to get in a submarine and go inside Gammera to get a parasite out of him, who looked exactly like the monster, except he was missing some horns. And then they also had to go back in so they could hook up electrodes to electrocute Gammera. So Gammera said there were like giant wires hanging out of his mouth.
Electrocute his lungs, by the way. How does that start his heart up?
No, they were in his heart. It just looked like the same area. It's okay. I can see how you could have been confused.
No.
You don't know anatomy.
No.
Especially giant turtle anatomy.
No. I am definitely not confused. That was exactly the same area. Exactly the same area.
Moving on.
Don't you moving on me.
We're moving on. Because for the other things about the plot, too, is it's still pretty much focused on kids being the heroes of the story, and also the kids knowing generally more so than the adults about what's going on. Like, man, that thing must have been a totem. It's cursed. Babadabadar. And then having to, like, they knew exactly what to do to get the monster going. They realized what needed to be done. They were man enough to go inside of a kaiju. I also love the dad, because he was just cool with it. He was just like, girls like, no, we can't, we gotta move, we gotta pack up all this stuff. You can't let those kids out. He's like, oh, they'll be fine. Gammera's outside. What's the worst that could happen?
No. She was like, blah, 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 blah. He's like, I'll take care of the kids. You go ahead.
Yeah, he was a cool dad. Also, probably not the best father figure, because he was going to get those kids killed. I was like, too, how he's just like, when he's building the submarine. She's like, shouldn't you go test it first? He's like, what do you think? You built the thing?
Can we just get this movie review over with?
No, we need to talk about it.
It's garbage. Done talking about it.
You're garbage. Because moving on to the kaijus, because overall I like the plot of the film, where it was what it was trying to do. For the kaijus, we have Gammera returning, which overall Gammera looks fairly fine, other than his tongue seems to always be kind of sticking out at all times. Like anytime he opens his mouth, that thing's just like flapping right there. I really like him mainly in this film because he's actually fairly flexible, and he has a lot of nice motions. I'll give him that. Also, it's like the first time I've ever really seen him use his tail other than trying to propel the shell down a cliff or something.
He has his own sound effects, too. Towards the end, when the guy shoots those needles at him, he's like, wee, wee, wee.
That part's amazing, though. He's just dodging everything.
No.
Oh, I loved it.
No.
Yeah, and then like when Gammera gets impaled by the Jiger's needle end of his tail, and you just hear him just roaring for like 5 minutes straight.
I was like, was this ever?
Is he ever gonna die? Please?
Like, I was like, what the fuck is raping him? What's going on here?
But yeah, well, for the most part, the suit looks fairly normal. It's mainly when they try to do different things with it, like when retracting his shell and going to the weird statue-esque figure that they use for the flamethrower shots. It's definitely a little odd looking. So we'll move on to the other kaiju in the film, Jiger. Which I gotta say, I can't figure out which one I dislike more between him and Virus. Because Virus is essentially just a giant weird octopus thing. But at least this giant weird octopus thing looked like kind of proportional. Why is Jiger's head so freaking huge? Especially compared to his body. Like, how does he walk? I think that thing would, like, anatomy-wise, be face-planting the entire time. Especially with this giant lower lip. That when he's flying around, seems to always go on, like, weird angles. Also, how does he fly? How does he have, like, thrusters on the back of his neck?
Okay, that was, like, the funny part, okay? That's, like, the only thing that was caught my interest was his thrusters or whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, but whenever they act, like, whenever he used it, then it goes to, like, the figure that they would just kind of throw. It didn't look very good. Although I do like how he goes to use the thrusters and then he just kind of skates across the water, crashing into freighters. Personally, love those scenes. But it's just like, it's an ugly looking monster. Overall, just the suit's just not pretty. I like the idea they were going with, like the monster has like the needle in his tail so you can impregnate other monsters with larvae. I also like how he shoots like harpoon darts out of his horns. That's actually kind of cool, although then it has like this giant weird hole that goes away randomly.
There's absolutely nothing about that guy.
And then he shoots heat rays.
I was okay.
Heat rays of weird circle cylinders that they explain is only ultrasonic waves, so it's really just he's killing you with vibrations.
I was okay with that monster all the way until that part where it just showed random map of Japan, him throwing darts. It was like wee wee wee, and
that were literally like they would have been like building size at that point.
And then he just shot rays, and I was like, "That's it." I was like, "I'm done." Steve was like, "You got to finish this." I was like, "No, I don't. I'm not finishing this movie."
Okay, you do.
no. I was like, "No way." Guess what, Steve? We're doing this review.
Again, the movie. I personally like the idea of the monster. But for suits, I'm just going to go out and say it. It's my least favorite. I thought it was Virus, but it's definitely Jiger.
I don't think they practiced at all. They were just like, okay, go for it. They
just went with the one shot and was like, good enough. Especially moving on to the props and effects. Where anytime you see the monsters fighting in this film, it's super hit and miss. Like, there's parts where, like, Gammera gets impaled by the harpoon darts, the spear darts, whatever you want to call them. That was kind of cool. I also like how, to stop the use of Jiger's ultrasonic waves, Gammera shoves telephone poles into his ear. That was cool.
No,
because I'll let you guys know, I actually have never seen this movie until we actually sat here to watch it for a review.
No.
It's the only Gammera movie I'd never seen. And that part made me laugh. I'll give it props. That part, I laughed so hard when he's just like... Oh, sweet. But then you have some scenes like when Gammera grabs a hold of Jiger's tail, starts body slamming him, and when he lets go, the tail literally hits the ground. The monster's still stiff as a rock, though, and then face plants. And when he's like flying in the air and dropping him and stuff, they have to like drop it behind a building or like a mountainside or something so you don't see the thing just flopping around when it lands.
It's a sad day when a monster fight in a monster movie is horrible.
I gotta say, it's not the worst I've ever seen. There's some random off-brand monster movies I've seen that are pretty atrocious.
This is the worst I've seen. I've seen this movie where literally, like, there was these killer spiders. Oh, and there was like these two lesbians making on bed. Oh, and a spider comes and it's literally like two girls screaming like this. And there's a guy, you can see a hand bringing down a rubber spider, and that was more interesting than this fight was.
But you didn't appreciate it in Dragon Wars, which, yes, I've seen it. Don't see it.
Oh, don't talk about that.
Please don't. But anyways, there is a scene where a girl is standing by a pool, and she's like, ah! And the dragon, literally, or not even a dragon, it's a giant snake. Don't let them fool you. Serpents.
Yeah, serpent.
So she's screaming by the poolside, and he literally, like, they had to animate the snake around the girl. He closes his mouth on the girl, opens his mouth back up, comes back up, all CGI, and then the girl's like, like, there's a delay. And it's so bad. This movie definitely is better than that. Definitely better than that.
Okay, that's one.
I just needed one. Also, like, the main parts I really love is, like, when they actually had to go inside Gammera to save him. and they actually fought like the little Jiger inside of them. That's where they find out that they needed to use ultrasonic waves to actually try to hurt the monster. Which they didn't really need to defeat the big one, but still a cool idea. Again, awesome ideas.
He threw a phone at him, and it was just like going by Zen. It was just like,
well, yeah. Also, like that the monster uses the Force.
dun, 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 dun.
I don't think the Force works like that, buddy. Because they call it suction. There's nothing there to suck. But I kind of wish. But I like how he just like rarely just like attract any kind of object, especially even Gammera, to his body.
You would think
or her,
him,
whatever it is.
Somebody will let us know what it is.
We'll listen to the comments. I like how like the dad was like, man, maybe we should have gave him a gun to go, and she's like, you're stupid. Like, yeah, I probably should have. Would have been a good idea. He had a subgun. I think that's what he called it. I want a subgun.
Why would you want a subgun when you got a phone that can just fly and attach to other people's heads?
Seem more useful than anything else in the movie. Other than Gammera defeats Jiger by impaling him with a totem in his face.
That was disturbing.
Again, awesome. No, what's disturbing in this movie, and this is what I will end this review on, is there's this clip that they use when the Gammera gets impregnated in his neck. Okay, he gets inserted by larva. One doctor's like, oh yeah, this is kind of like something I experienced when I was working at, or I think I was working at a zoo. And there was an elephant there, and they show footage of this, of the elephant's trunk, super swollen. And you're just like, no, don't do it.
Oh, he does.
Don't do it.
He does.
They cut it open. You get to see this. A film meant for kids, mind you. And you see it just, this larva worms just pouring out of that nose. That bothered me, and I'm an adult. Or at least I like to claim to be.
I was about to say, you're not an adult.
Yeah. I was like, oh. Like, I'm glad I did see this one as a kid. Granted, I probably would have really liked the movie overall when I was younger. Except that part I probably fast forward through.
My final thoughts, don't watch this.
Yeah. It's hard to recommend, personally, even for me. Mainly because, again, I love what the movie was trying to do, but the movie, in the end, kind of, like, it's a good concept, but it just fails to give us what we wanted from that concept. Because overall, the suits are just, like, Gammera's pretty good, Jiger's atrocious looking. Some of the props are definitely very hit and miss. It's either not that bad or stupid bad in this movie. And the only real redeeming quality in this film is the overall plot.
Really? I thought the redeeming part was when Gammera screams for 5 minutes. Arr! We were literally at my house on a lunch break. We were watching this movie. And it's like 5 minutes. He's literally just screaming nonstop.
I was like, can we go back to work? Please?
That's the first time ever in 10 years that I asked to go back to work. That's how bad it was.
So, if you guys are a fan of Gammera films and have never seen it, I recommend checking it out. Just mainly just to check it out. Because, again, it does have some redeeming qualities. But if you're not a big fan of the Gammera films to begin with, definitely pass on it. But anyways, what do you guys think of Gammera vs. Jiger? Please let us know in the comments section below what you guys thought of this movie. And if you thought Arnes was correct on this. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye-bye.